Hello, and it's another episode of The Single Guys podcast. I am Jason,
And I'm Desmond,
and we are
the single guy.
the very single guys. So today's topic is about dating outside not our race, dating outside our nationality, country, dating outside our borders.
Oh, country borders. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I've had this idea for a long time already that I should marry from somebody from outside. Nothing wrong with Brunei girls. I mean, I've got my issues with them, but I've also got good memories with them.
Yeah.
And I'm not totally cutting them out, but it's always nice to have something different, like a different culture. So, okay, here's the story, right? We have a common friend who his cousin went to Thailand, okay, for a holiday,
Yeah.
and he was I think it was in a cafe where he saw this girl alone. He thought she was very pretty. He decided to go and talk to her because hey, he's in another country, nobody knows him, so he's got balls, right?
Got nothing to lose.
Got nothing to lose. So that's what happened, and they're engaged now.
Wow.
Yeah, she's been here for 5 months already. Yeah, and obviously
Nice.
with the border lockdown, she can't fly back.
That can be a good thing.
Yeah, so but I mean, I've seen this couple; they will get married. One, it's got it's written all over them.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So I thought about it myself, like I should do something like this, where if I'm traveling, I'm just going to talk randomly to someone. But where do you want to pick from? So obviously you want to try and make sure they're kind of the same race. I'm not saying that dating outside your race is wrong, but for parental approval,
Yeah, I think definitely
for us anyway.
Correct. To all the listeners, please don't misunderstand where we're going with all
Yeah.
this. Because from where we stand, we have to consider our parentals'
Approval. Yeah.
expectations slash approval.
Yeah.
So it's not something we can completely disregard.
To be honest, I'd love to marry a white girl. I think my
Eh.
mom might have an issue with it though. My dad maybe not so much.
Yeah, I would say the same. I
Yeah,
would say the
my
same.
mom would probably, I won't say kill me, but but she'd be like, "What if she doesn't eat our food?" You know. I'm like, yeah,
That probably is the least of a concern, but yeah.
yeah, and
It definitely does sound like the kind of things that I
correct
would say.
cultural differences.
Yeah.
Saying this, my mom's dating a white guy, which is kind of funny.
Hey.
But anyway, so I think ideally they will be somewhat similar to us.
Yep.
I have the look of a Filipino, so I could go Philippines.
Yes.
I
you
also
definitely
look Indonesian, so I could go to Indonesia. I definitely can pass off as Singaporean or Malaysian, so that's that too.
can.
I can't pass off for Thai, because the Thai guys are damn skinny, man.
Yes.
I have not seen fat Thai guys. What's wrong with? Why do they not get fat?
I don't know. Maybe we should be doing what they're doing.
Yeah, same goes for Vietnam too.
Yes.
Yeah, so Vietnamese guys are kind of skinny as well. So with my belly, I kind of stick out. Can't pass off as a Vietnamese guy. Surprisingly, in Cambodia, there's a lot of guys with my tummy. I could pass off for Cambodian.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was in Sihanoukville. I mean, it's not main Cambodia, but still, it's part of Cambodia. Yeah, there are guys who look like me, or I look like them.
Nice. Chances.
But yeah, so I guess in a way it's good, but in a way the girls are less attracted.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work that way though in Philippines.
Correct. I think for a lot of places, the priorities are definitely different, right?
Mm.
From all the developed Western countries, like I mean, if any of our listeners, if you're on in this close group called Subtle Asian Dating, you see like the kind of things that the younger generation or the,
I'm not in
kind
this Facebook group, but I
Yeah.
think I should check it out.
I see the post and I would say you kind of have zero confidence in actual picking anybody up because
Okay.
you're competing against thousands and thousands of people, and some of these people are like, like really good looking, tall, six pack,
Fake profile.
It's just like, wow, really? Has it come to a stage where all of these things have become more important than you know?
But okay,
character?
if I was to date or marry a foreign girl, right? I mentioned Philippines a lot.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they are family first.
Yes.
I know some of them are like gold diggers, but at the core of it, family comes first for them.
Yep. Yep.
They don't care if you're broke ass, beat down, good for nothing. But if you are good to your family, that's a win.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important because I also appreciate the whole family first mentality. Sometimes they are so family first that they become broke and don't have food, but they're still happy.
Yes.
That's the other thing. They're always happy. Even when they don't have enough food, they still somehow find ways to make.
Filipinos are always singing, right? There's always that joke.
That is true.
Thank you, sir.
All the karaoke's and
Yeah.
stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that would be very nice for me because I love the whole family first thing. Outside of that, I once thought that I should marry a Kadazan girl, which my dad will 1000% give approval
He'll definitely give his approval.
because he's Dusun, and he'll
Yeah.
be like, "Yep, that's within our range." So, a Kadazan girl from Sabah, she probably looks very Dusun Chinese like I do, because I mean I am Dusun Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my dad will be very approving of that. She probably cooks the same kind of food that my dad would eat as well. So maybe in my dad's case, it's more like him finding a daughter-in-law to cook for him. But yeah, I know he'll be approving of that. The other option would be to marry a girl from Pontianak or Singkawang in Indonesia because they are Chinese, but they are, again, they speak the same language. They speak Chinese, they speak Malay.
Yep.
Some of them
Yep.
speak English. Most of them do learn how to speak English anyway when they come over to Brunei. And yeah, culturally, they're, I guess, somewhat similar also. So these would be the options. Oh, and of course, girls from Taiping in Ipoh, sorry.
In Ipoh, yes.
Ipoh. Because all over Malaysia, there is a saying that the prettiest girls come from Ipoh.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
We've met quite a few. I mean, there's some of them
We should set one of our next destination.
to go to Ipoh. Well, after hearing this, right, I had two friends that traveled there. They went there. They didn't find any pretty girls from Ipoh. Although I do know why, because they went. Their priority is to get drunk,
Right.
and they like to get drunk in a karaoke room, in a small private room, which is not a place where you want to meet
No.
somebody new.
No,
You have to go
definitely
somewhere
not.
open.
Exactly.
So I know their style. And when they came back and they said that they didn't meet anyone, I was like, yeah,
That's quite obvious.
I'm pretty sure why. I know why,
Yeah.
right? And both of them are not the type to go out and talk to random strangers. That's the other thing. So, yeah, I'd still like to go to Ipoh. Maybe find a wife there. But I've heard that, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but they have a bit of the gold digger mentality. It's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
So these are probably some of the places that I'd probably go and find a wife. Maybe
Yeah.
other similar places where they have similar looks, similar culture, like Batam. Because they speak Malay, they speak English. They probably deal in Singapore dollars. And they probably look like me too. Pretty sure my dad will approve of that too.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so what about you? I mean,
Wow.
I'm keeping my range within my.
So pretty much Southeast Asia.
No, I wouldn't marry a Singaporean girl.
Oh well.
Hell no.
Well, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Excluding Singapore.
I might not even want to marry a Malaysian girl, like a KL City girl. I don't think I want that. I will marry a Malaysian country girl. Okay,
Yeah.
but if they came from Penang or KL itself, right, where they're so used to the city life, I can't handle that. I'm not a city person. I like a small town vibe.
Right. Yep. Yep. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I get where
so
you're coming from.
I definitely will not marry a Singaporean girl because Singaporean
Right.
girls are generally city girls.
Correct. This is why I'm so torn, especially when it comes to this, because that's the thing. I would probably gravitate more towards the city mentality,
Okay.
but considering where I'm staying now,
Mhm.
that's just not gonna happen. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Even if I was able to find somebody who has that type of city mentality or the hustle and bustle, whatever it is, they're not gonna want to come to Brunei.
You need to marry a KB girl.
So
KB girls who are single out there.
yeah,
KB girls are big city.
HMU, hit me up.
They have big city mentality. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, with goals and shit.
Correct. Correct.
So, but
I think I gravitate more towards. That.
so you can marry
So
the
well,
Singaporean girl.
you know, like when you were mentioning all these things about how like Filipino girls are family oriented, like, I get that. You know, I get that. But you see, which is why I said I'm so on the fence because I feel like I need to connect at a more deeper level. Like,
I know what's wrong. I know why you're single.
yeah, I think there's a lot of problems.
You don't know what you want.
That could be true too. A lot of things has happened for the past couple of years, guys. Yeah. I'm everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
everywhere.
But where? Okay, so I wouldn't marry the Singapore city girl, right? Because first of all, I don't think I can keep up with the pace.
Correct. I think when you live there and you work there and you're so used to it, I think that's fine. But I think for us, even for people who, you consider yourself, quite there, isn't your chiong in your, in your work and things like that. I don't think you can keep up to pace.
With the
They're so
Singapore,
used to it. Yeah, that's their everyday life.
they're so competitive. That's why they're so kiasu.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I can't keep up with that. I don't know about. So in KL, it's kind of the same thing because they always have to compete with
Yes.
each other for spots in uni,
Yep.
spots in employment sector, all these places. So, city girl, maybe not for me. That probably excludes a lot of, say, girls from Jakarta, because there's a city life as well.
Yes.
Seoul. I married a country Korean girl. What's
Korean
a
girl.
country Korean girl?
Don't know.
I've never seen it.
Yep. That'll be interesting.
Oh, I've always had this not fantasy, but like this daydream of like marrying a country girl from the US. Like,
Wow.
yeah. So like I dream of like traveling to the US, and then I go to the country. I drive along the countryside. I just stop by some random pub, random diner, meet a girl who serves me drinks, chewing gum in her Daisy Dukes,
Oh god.
and then we just hit it off from there. I've always had this.
No comment.
It's like, you want some soda
Quite
with
out
that?
there,
I always wanted. Yeah, it's weird, right? I've had
Oh,
this.
gosh.
This.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's the whole diners and Daisy Duke thing. And with some country song playing in the background, talking about, the country singer is singing about how he ran over his cat or the dog died or something like that. But you're dancing to it.
I think from all of this, it's just quite obvious that you're pretty much ready to settle down. I'm still trying to.
Hell
figure
no.
things out.
Hell no.
Wait, you've got a lot of I don't know how to say directions in which you could go.
Yeah, so I like a bit of direction. So that's why I pinpoint out like, okay, specifically Chinese girls from Singkawang or Pontianak, or from Kadazan girls from Sabah, or the country girl from Ipoh. That type. I'm quite specific like that. And I also know what I don't want, which is not because I don't want the city girls. I just don't think I can. I can't. I don't
Just
think.
don't think it will work
Yeah.
in the long run.
Because I don't think I can live up to their expectations.
Mhm.
I'm not the kiasu guy that's going to date a Singaporean girl who is super ambitious, wants to go from janitor to CEO of the company type. You see, I don't have that in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
yeah.
need to have that in Singapore,
That is
and
correct. That
most
is
guys
correct.
will have to have that there, and I just don't. It's not me.
Yep.
So that's why it excludes all these places. But if I was to meet a Singaporean girl who is tired of dating those city guys, who is tired of the guys always putting the career first over their relationship because they need to go from janitor to CEO, and then she's like, "Oh, this guy is chill. He makes my life feel more relaxed. Like I don't have to always be fighting for the top spot and be contented with a lot of things that they already have." See, that I can do. It doesn't matter where she comes from.
Very plainly, in business terms, it's basically finding a niche market.
Yes. Niche Hey, I deal with niche market.
Yeah.
A lot of my
Hey, your
stuff
success rate, you can find it, you can identify it. Oh, definitely. Success rate of actually closing that.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, here's another thing. And I know you've spoken about this off the air.
Right.
And I want you to tell me why.
Okay.
You mentioned off the air that you will not marry or date a girl who has kids already.
Yeah. Yes, I have mentioned this. So, it's not because of, I think feelings in general is completely separate from that, because when, let's say, a girl has kids, right, I feel a sense of responsibility towards the kids,
Okay.
right? So, because I don't have the confidence in saying, that I'm going to be able to take care of them for life, especially from where I am now, because I don't have such confidence, so I wouldn't dare to commit to the forever, till death do us part. Not
That will apply to everyone though, whether they have kids or not.
That is correct, but I don't know. I just feel that sense
With the
of
kids, it's like a
correct.
lot more
I feel that
responsible.
it's a lot more responsibility, and it's something that I'm not sure that I can shoulder.
Okay, what if, right? What if you met a girl, she's very nice, she didn't tell you she had kids,
Mhm.
like you were dating all this while. Okay, after, at least, not say dating, but like you went after her, you went on a few dates, everything was going well. Okay, 3 months down the line, as things start to get a bit more serious, she drops this bomb on you. You know you match each other already. You
Yep.
know the pieces fit. What's gonna happen?
It's still hard. It's still hard, which is why even if the pieces fit, I think at that point in time, I feel that it's no longer a decision between me and her and this person, but I think it has to also involve the kid.
Well, the kid might be 4 years old.
If correct, which is why I think the older it is, then maybe it's a little bit easier to sort of get into that kind of conversation or whatever has to happen. But if not, yeah, I just feel so bad for the kid, man. Like because
Why?
I don't know. I think I'm a very peculiar kind of person, right? If something's not mine, I don't treat it like it's mine. I'm weird that way. So if it's something that is not mine, so maybe it's not my kid, but yeah, maybe I'll love the kid, but he's not mine. I know deep down inside, I
Right.
won't treat him
Okay.
as if
I
like
understand
my
that
own.
part. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm funny that way. It happens with a lot of things, whether like physical things as well. So which is why I know that even if it's a +1 or a +2, or I mean if she has kids, yeah, I'll love her, but I know that deep down inside, I can never really treat the kid as my own, which I feel will be unfair for the kid.
So for me, right, I always accepted this was a possibility.
Yep.
Because for one, at my age, you kind of meet girls that are only divorced with kids.
Options are limited.
Right? And For me, that's never been an issue. Even if they're not divorced, if they had a kid out of wedlock,
Yep.
it's fine for me because I may not be the the father figure that was the father of the kid,
Mm-hmm.
but I could be the father figure that helps the kid. So it is like,
That is true.
yeah. So even though I might not be the kid's father, I still want to be a good example for the kid to show him or her, right, that your father leaving you doesn't mean that you are not loved.
Yeah. No, definitely for sure.
And
Definitely for sure.
I think I can treat the kid fairly, even if I have my own kid with the girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that, but I mean, I think that way. I don't see it as an issue. I may not be the most successful father, but I'll try be father of the year.
No, yeah, correct. Yeah, you put in that effort,
Yeah.
you see. Yeah, that's correct. So, I don't know.
I think it'll be harder actually for me if the kid was older.
It will be. It definitely will be. I think the older, which is why it's so...
If the kid is younger, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it'll be easier.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because I have more time to grow up with the kid
Mm-hmm.
and the kid to see me as her father figure or his father figure,
Yep.
whether or not I'm the father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if the kid has already grown up, say for example, it might not be a divorce. Maybe the kid's father died in an accident, right? Life is unfair.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
And that kid is about 10 years old. He has a lot of memory with his father.
Yeah.
And that is something I find probably harder to do. Because
That's correct.
I will never be able to replace the father.
Yeah.
I will never, whatever I do, I'm not going to be good enough for the kid to be the father. But I will try my best to be a father figure.
Correct.
Yeah. But if it's a 4-year-old kid, it makes a lot of difference because that kid will see me growing up.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. I think a lot of these things, it really is depending on your luck of the draw. You know what I mean? The kid could turn out fine in the sense that, he could grow up, he or she could look at you as a father figure and things like this. Sometimes it may not just happen that way. They may resent you, just saying, with things like, we've watched enough dramas to...
Dude, I don't need to watch enough dramas. I see that from my mom herself.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so I mentioned my mom's dating a white guy. Previously, she dated another white guy. Oh, he wasn't a white guy. He's a Caribbean guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this was the first guy. This was the first guy she dated after divorcing my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's a UK citizen from the Caribbean. So when he came into our lives, he tried to force himself as a father figure, he's like to say. Like he tries to advise us what to do and what not to do. And
Yep,
we are
yep.
adults at this stage. I was already working.
Yep.
And I understand what he was trying to do, but my sisters didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I was a bit more understanding. Like I knew why he's trying to force himself to be that figure. But because we were adults, I didn't need that, and none of us did.
Correct.
So it is okay. I will probably try to be the same if the kid is younger. But if the kid is an adult, I don't need to make any decisions. Why do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me.
Yeah. 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 That's correct. That's correct. But I mean, dating at our age, definitely the kid's gonna be young. That's for sure. So...
I'm imagining, right? Okay. If so I'm 38. If let's say I date someone who's 35, she probably has a kid that is about 10 years old.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
They're old enough to think. They're old enough to recognize a lot of things.
Oh, I definitely would tell them I'm not your father.
Yeah.
I will be.
And I think the
I will
smartest
be
thing-
the anti-Darth Vader. I'm not your father.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will make sure they know who's their father.
That is correct.
So I've got this friend. She's got 2 kids from her first marriage. She's 31.
Mm.
2 kids from the first marriage. And she met her current husband 2 years after her divorce. So she got divorced. She got married really early. Got divorced by the time she was 27, 28, and then met this guy when she's 30. Now she's 32. She's married to him, and they have another kid. So, for what I remember from her, she told me was this guy was what made her fall in love with him was how he treated her kids with respect.
Yeah. Any gentleman would.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Like he played with them, but he made sure that the kids remember that their father is still around. Might not be the good example of a father, because in most cases, the father isn't exactly always in the family.
Yeah.
And the kids recognize this guy as the mother's new husband, and even though he's not the father, the kids recognize him as a father figure. And I see this relationship is fantastic. I mean, I watch like her stories and posts on Instagram. The kids really love this guy.
Yep.
You know, I don't mind being that guy.
Correct. But it's not, that's the thing though. I feel like it really is luck of the draw, right? You're not going to get that kind of same outcome every single time, because it is really quite kid dependent how they were raised.
Well,
if they're raised in a very good environment, sure.
Here's the thing. If the kid was a bad kid, right, raised by a very poorly disciplined family, I probably would never fall in love with the mom.
That is true. That is true.
Because I probably have certain qualities that I want, and
Yeah.
if she can put that on her own kids, I think that's something I would probably be very keen on. Yeah. How did we go from dating one country to dating a divorce?
You can still connect the dots.
How?
You can still connect. Well, here's my attempt at it. So, I think, which is why I like remember coming back to the story where whether I'll be able to whether I'm gonna be okay or not,
Yep.
dating somebody who has a kid or not. Which is why I feel that where I am right now, especially looking at whether or not our into marriage and things like this, because I have fears of it could be a fear thing. Wow. Because of these things that I'm afraid to commit to, that I'm unsure at this point in time whether I'm able to commit to, which is why probably I don't want to think about it. Or I don't think I can handle it at this moment in time.
I like to be prepared, so that's why I think about all scenarios.
Me too.
Okay, last question for this topic is: would you settle for arranged marriage or the overseas foreign bride or foreign overseas? What is this name? There's a name for all these things. I can't remember the names, but there's a terminology.
No.
No?
I can't. I need to know the person.
Right.
I think I connect very well at a
Superficial? No?
sort of like an emotional level.
Okay.
So I need to know where their EQ is at,
Mm.
right? Because I don't mind you swearing at me. I don't mind you throwing things at me, as long as you express your anger and you're able to, I don't know, like express yourself and put it into words. I think that's a much safer way to handle relationships, whichever kind, whether it's between friendships, whether it's a romantic relationship, whatever it is. As long as you're able to express yourself, yeah, I will feel safe, because then I know that there's nothing lurking in the shadows, waiting to pounce on me when I least expect it.
So I thought about this as well. I'm like, for the amount of money spent on these foreign arranged brides or whatever, right? I could easily fly to Vietnam or Thailand or to Bangkok or to Philippines, wherever these brides come from. I could easily fly there, pay for my hotel, have a nice leisurely holiday, meet someone, marry them. For real, man. Because some of these...
They will be, yes, they are willing.
There are way cheaper ways to do
They are
this.
willing, yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, I've always thought about this. Like, yeah,
I'm such a
I
difficult person.
would do this kind of thing, but not in the same manner.
Yep.
I'll be like, there's a cheaper way to do this. Let me do this. Okay, that is the summary of today's show. We are the Single Guys Podcast. I am Jason,
And I am Desmond.
and we are out.
Until next time.
Bye.